So what, obviously cold plunges have been happening since the dawn of time.
Yeah. At least Anne Happel have been doing them for years. I think she started when she accidentally fell into a lake. Well, she didn't accidentally. I think the story goes her dog fell out of a canoe. And it was a little Pomeranian or something tiny. And she was like, holy shit. And she jumped in.
You jump in.
Mother instinct. And she jumped in.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like 40-degree water. And she said for the rest of the day, she just felt like elated, like, oh my God, I feel so. And that's how she figured it out. We could get her back on the show to talk about it because it's been a while.
Now, I got to admit, even a week ago, if I looked at her Instagram, it would stress me out to see all these cold places she's diving in. And now I got to say, I look forward to the morning to doing it. So there's a number of reasons why I thought it was a good idea, but I heard an interview of a guy on a thing.
But wait, before you get into that, let's set the stage.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't go out and buy a big tub and put ice in it.
No.
You're
no. And in fact, it has to be easy for me or else I won't be compliant.
Or you won't do it. So you have a pool and
I don't understand these people who put the ice in it's a lot of water. I guess you just fill it up with fresh ice every day. You just kind of leave it standing there. Like you're filling up fresh water. It's like a waste of water.
They make these tubs that just, you put them in your house, and Corolla has one. It brings the water temperature to, it's got cooling elements like refrigerator.
Or you could just draw a cold bath or take a cold shower.
Yeah, but apparently that doesn't work as well as
you have to put the ice in it.
But you're jumping into a really cold pool, right?
Yeah. So the pool was 51 degrees this morning.
That's
and
cold.
the air temperature was 38.
Mm-hmm.
That's cold. I mean, I don't know how it's going to work in the summer, but I'm just taking it day by day. So when I first did it, I dove into the deep end head first and then just swam to the shallow end as fast as possible because I was like, this is insane. I'm going to die. It's so cold. But I did it and I was like, yay. And then I heard an interview with somebody about how you're supposed to do it.
Oh, really?
And you're supposed to do it you're supposed to be in for at least 3 minutes. 3 to 6 minutes is ideal. So I was like, I was max 30 seconds. Because our pool's not that big.
Yeah.
Right. So I was listening to the interview of this guy who's a human biologist. His name is Gary Brecka. You should have him on the show. He was pretty great.
Megan, get Gary Brecka.
Megan doesn't listen to this show. Mm. I'll text her and say, get Gary Brecka on the show.
Yeah.
He's a guy who worked for the insurance companies to predict mortality when they were trying to get a big life insurance policy on somebody.
Mm-hmm. Anna's choking over there, folks. She's drinking water. She's back.
So, and then, but anyway, he talked about a number of things in this interview. And it was fascinating. But one thing that he said, and then I went down the rabbit hole, is he said, if you deal with immune system issues or autoimmune, which I do, the cold plunges apparently release some sort of protein from your liver that helps build your immune system correctly, as opposed to my fakakta immune system that wants to attack my gut. Right.
Right.
So that's what appealed to me. I was like, because here's the deal. 2 months from today, I turn 50. And
so ridiculously hard for me to buy into.
I was 38 and you were 49 when we started this thing. I know. So and maybe it's just catching me at the right time of like, and I'm doing a cardio challenge this year, just like your cardio challenge. And I just want to just make sure I'm going into a new decade.
Can I say something, Anna?
The best I can.
You don't look like you're anywhere near 50 years old.
Thank you. But also I have a nice light here.
Yeah, but
you know what? That is what I look like. I just have a few like weird red marks come up. You're like, oh, I just woke up with a new mark.
But Anna, you don't look like a 50-year-old woman. Nobody's looking at you and guessing 50.
I don't think so either. I will say I've been blessed with the Ralph Macchio-ness of it all, of the, like, I have the younger face skin tone at least.
Yeah.
But, which I appreciate and I love, and I'm so glad. But, and I get asked every single day, what's the skincare thing? And I'm like, I could tell you a face wash and a toner and a thing, but ultimately it's just don't eat sugar. I don't know what to tell you. Don't eat sugar.
No, but you don't like, when you said 50, I'm looking at you going,
that's nice of you to say that.
No, I'm not, Anna. I'm not trying to get your
puffier.
pants, right? Like if
I know
was
that.
into your pants,
Or stuff like
baby,
stuff
you
like,
look
you know,
good.
the eyelids falling and all, you know,
But
I'm aging.
just
I'm
overall,
aging for sure.
look, how old is Minnie Driver?
Oh gosh, she's probably like 54 or 55 by now. I think she's 5 years older than I am.
Okay. If you said Minnie Driver's 55, I would go, yeah, I can see it. I'll buy that. Right. I don't buy that with you. If you're 50, I don't buy it.
Listen.
If you said you were 42, I'd go, that sounds about right.
Oh, I appreciate that, because now I see 42-year-olds and they look like babies to me. You look like a baby. You're a baby.
You have no idea what people, you get to 60 and it all changes again.
Well, I realized in the past 3 years, I was doing the thing where you watch TV and you're like, oh, that person's definitely older than I am. And then you find out that they're younger than you are. And you're like, oh, I guess I look old now. So it's like, but I still want to be the healthiest version of myself, you know?
Well, look, when you tell me I look like Stratharan, I look at him and go, that dude looks old. But then I'll look in the mirror and it's like, oh, wait a minute. I look old too.
But also, you guys are probably the same age. And you probably
Stratharan has to be older. What's his first
name?
No.
You guys looked the same when you were younger too. You guys just look alike.
Is it David or Scott? What's his name?
David Stratharan.
Okay.
So look him up. But let me say this. When I turned 40, I was more upset that I hadn't done things that I wanted to accomplish in my life. And then what?
Fuck you. Fuck you. I hate you. We're not friends anymore.
What? He's hot. I think he's cute. What are you talking about?
David Stratharan is 74 years old.
Oh my God, I got myself into so much trouble too.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Lauren put on these aviators that had a yellow tint to them. And I go, you look like Elliot Gould.
Oh God.
And then he's like, what? And he's like, fuck off. And I was like, no, Elliot Gould, he was hot back in the day. And I Googled pictures of Elliot Gould and he was not hot back in the day.
Elliot Gould's never had a hot day in his life.
All right, I know. And I told my husband he looked like Elliot Gould in those glasses.
With a beard.
Look at how hot he looks.
Yeah, he does. But
look at, I'm sorry, YouTubers, you need to look at Vinny next to this guy. You guys are twins. I'm sorry.
You can put it up. Take a picture. And
okay, hold on. Am I wrong?
Wait, let me not laugh because, oh wait, he's going away. All right, hang on.
Turn the light back on. There we go. Okay, hold on.
You got it?
Oh my God. Am I wrong?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah.
He's good looking, and so are you.
Yeah, I
am sorry about the age. I didn't realize.
I knew he was older, but I thought he was.
I didn't think he was. I thought you guys were the same age. No. And I'm not saying that I think you're older. I just thought you guys were the same age, that you came up at the same time.
Frank Reich are the same age, and Frank, we look exactly alike.
Pull him up.
Who, him?
Frank.
Frank Reich. Yeah. I'm gonna have to find Frank with a beard. And when we were young, we were the same age, and we played college football at the same time. So Frank Reich we looked more alike back when we played ball. Let me find Frank with a beard.
Hold on. Oh, I have a little bit of. This is what I look like on. Look, I have a. See, I have a mark.
Yeah, Anna, a mark doesn't. All right,
you know what I'm saying? I look like I have normal.
Right,
I'm a normal looking.
That's Frank in college when he was playing. We played college.
Oh yeah, you guys do look alike.
Yeah, hair part and everything about me and Frank. This is Frank now, but without a beard. You could kind of.
The Stratharan picture was killing me.
All right. Wait, hang on. Hang on.
Twinny Stratharan. That's his name.
I just had a picture of Frank and I lost it. Damn it. He got fired recently. Here we go.
When we're done with that, can we talk about Cole? Oh, well.
The nose, everything.
Yeah.
is kind of weird,
He's got a little more like pudge in his face.
Yeah, he's got a little more weight in his face because he gained weight at some point, but
you don't have that.
No, I got lucky. And when he doesn't look like me, he looks like my younger brother.
Oh, there he looks like you.
So there you have it.
Straight there and more so though.
All right,
okay.
So
cold plunges. So I saw that everyone was doing them in those dipping tubs when I watched the videos. I was like, oh, to be honest with you, if I don't have to submerge my hair, I will do this every day.
Right.
If I have to do my hair, because as we established off the air, when I do my hair, it's a whole workout. My Aura Ring thinks that I've done a workout after I blow dry and style my hair. It's a lot.
Okay.
So I'm not going to do that because it's a lot of effort. I don't want to wash my hair every day. So I was like, oh, I can do this. So the first day I go in, and I think that's the last time that we podcasted was the first day. And every day it's gotten better. So and also too, you're not supposed to just shiver and you're supposed to relax and breathe and let it do its thing. But the idea being you just want to make the body uncomfortable. And for me, I like to do things that I can feel. I like a workout that I can feel. I like, you know what I mean? I like to feel like something's doing something.
Right.
Like it just feels better to me. I'm surprised, honestly, that I've never gotten into anything endurance because it fits my personality to want to feel like I've fucking done something.
It really does. And you don't have to be an athlete to do endurance stuff. You just have to have the brain to want to do it.
It is a brain and it's a mind thing. And I like that. I like challenges and I like doing things like that. Maybe I'm doing endurance business because that's what my business feels like a lot of the times. Like I'm running an endurance race.
It's a stick-to-itiveness to it all.
So on day 3, I go in and I'm counting. I think maybe tomorrow I might just turn on my phone timer to see if my counting's adding up. But what I do is I count to 180 seconds and then I do another 60 seconds because I want to make sure that I did at least the minimum of 3 minutes, right? And today I stayed in for over 5 minutes. So you're supposed to do 3 to 6 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. And on day 3, though, Lauren goes, I'm going to go in with you. I'm going to do it with you. He got up to about his knee and ran out of the pool and said, I'm going to have a heart attack. I don't want to do this. And I don't know if that's true or not, but I feel like, right, you wouldn't have a cold plunge wouldn't give somebody a heart attack, would it?
I don't.
Oh, maybe it could. I don't know.
Think so.
So, but I know what you mean about heat. I like heat too. And I will go in because we don't have a sauna, but we have a steam. I can go in the steam and get it going pretty good. And by the way, I don't go in the steam first and then go to the cold plunge because I feel like that's cheating. I feel like you should go and it should be uncomfortable from the beginning because you could do a cold plunge from the heat, but you're like, do you even feel that because you're so hot? I don't know. Maybe people will write me and tell me, yeah, you dumb bitch, you should do the heat first and then do the thing. But please don't use those words. But yeah, I've enjoyed it. I have no idea if it's working on any level with my immune system. I don't even know how to prove that, but I'm enjoying the challenge of it. And I look forward to the morning to do it because I feel like I have accomplished something that morning.
I more power to you, Anna. More power to you. I mean, I would like to see if you're going to keep it up in the summer, which means you're going to have to change your game a little bit.
I know. I'm not quite sure when the pool is more like 60 degrees, if that's cool enough.
You could go to Tractor Supply and get one of those troughs, a small trough. You don't need a big giant one because that's that much more ice you would have to put in it.
Right.
I think where you live, it stays cold at night.
It's very cold at night. And we don't have a cover on the pool. So it is what it is. So I will say this. I have noticed when you get in, because I basically grab my boobs and hold them and cover my arms as tightly as possible. And then I go in the water and I sit and you kind of ball up because it's like that instinct to want to protect your body from the cold. And everything in you is like, get out. And then after like a minute, this weird warmth comes over you. And then I kind of release my arms. But even like little things like your knees bent up into a ball, when you extend your knees, the cold then hits the back of your knees because you're really like trying to protect your body and keep your body from the cold. And it's like a challenge to be like, no, let's really just
be cold. Let's just let it hit you and let it wash over you.
It's funny. Corolla told me that because he's got one of those things in his house that just gets really cold. The company
does he do it regularly? Does he like it?
Every day. He does it.
Yeah. I can see that. I'm kind of addicted now.
When he's home, he's on the road. Obviously he can't do it, but when he's home, he told me that when he goes in, he gets in and he sits in it and he's in for like a minute and then he'll move his arms a little bit. And like under his armpits will get cold.
Right. Exactly.
Even though they were getting
because cold, you're like this, and then you go like this, and you're like, oh, there's fresh areas to get cold.
To get cold. It's very interesting. I would love to do it. I just cannot anywhere in my psyche. Can I? Like I said,
you're a warm guy.
I've watched Anne break ice. And get
and that's another level of brave because I've only gone down to 50
around
degrees.
Her. It's just snowing around her and she's breaking ice to get into a river. And I'm looking at that going, you give me $1,000 and I'm going to hand it back to you. I'm not going to do it.
I bet you do it for $1,000.
I would not.
Damn it. I should have asked for money. I'm over here doing it for free.
Yeah, who's going to give you money? I think Anne's gotten rich doing that. People are going to give you $100, getting that bikini, getting that water. Yeah, she's been, but I look at that and go, wow.
My next door neighbor is a tennis instructor. They have this nice courts out back.
Yeah.
And they hear me like just doing these Lamaze, Wim Hof, whatever the fuck I'm doing.
Breathing.
Breathing.
You should get the book Breathe by,
I do. I've been telling people to get that book by James Nestor.
Yeah, James Nestor. And
I got this because of you having him on. And then it's one of my favorite books. The audiobook is fantastic.
Right here.
Here we go. Ready?
Wait, hang on. I use this thing all the time. I use this breathing device. James told me to get this. It builds up your lungs. It works.
I'm not kidding you. I think I am having either post-COVID or something symptoms where my lung capacity has not been what it used to be. And so that's another thing why I'm doing the breathing and the cold plunge and doing this stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna go into this dark night easily. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you're gonna kick and scream all the way, Anna.
Yeah.
So last night, let's do a Villa Capelli ad, and I want to talk about weightlifting a little bit.
Okay, great.
So Villa Capelli, folks, Villa Capelli olive oil. Look, I yell about this all the time when people say to me on tweets, well, if I don't get Villa Capelli, what else is there? Why are you doing that to yourself?
By the way, we've taken the time to do the research for you, and we're giving you the answer. If you want something else, you're going to have to do your own digging because we're handing it to you. We're handing it to you.
Let me help them. Let me shovel a couple of shovels for them in their digging contest.
Okay.
Villa Capelli is not only one of the greatest olive oils out there, but it's less expensive than other olive. They'll go, well, at my store, they got an extra super duper virgin first cold press olive oil. Look. If it's half the price per ounce of Villa Capelli, it's got 40% seed oils. You cannot produce olive oil for that kind of money.
Nope.
So if you want to get a pure olive oil, they're out there, but don't think you're going to be saving money. You're going to pay more than you're going to pay at Villa Capelli. These are not my opinions. I just gave you a fact. So why not have not only a pure olive oil, but the best tasting olive oil on planet Earth? And I think Mars and Jupiter too. It's the best tasting olive oil on several planets around the solar system. Our solar system, not any of the other ones. I don't know about those solar systems.
Martian olive oil.
Oh, it's they don't even know how Martian olive oil might as well be Greek olive oil.
It's rancid. You don't want it.
Yeah. You want the good Italian stuff from Puglia, right?
What is Puglia, Vinny?
Puglia is a region that I stayed in and was really close, but never got a chance to go over to Villa Capelli. My sister-in-law got a house there 3 years ago, and we all went there for the summer.
Nice.
And Puglia is this area in Italy that makes probably the best olives anywhere. When you've spent a lot of time
let me describe it this way. So everyone thinks of Italy being very mountainous and the Tuscan hill towns, and Rome is considered southern Italy to a lot of Italians.
Mm-hmm.
But Rome is just kind of like 2/3 of the way down in the thing. If you continue down south and over towards Greece, towards the Adriatic, it turns into a flatland. And there are ancient olive trees for kilometers after kilometer of olive trees. And that's where
for you Americans, mile after mile.
That's right. I say kilometers because there are no kilometers there. Isn't that crazy? There are none. You can't find a mile, rather. Can't find a mile in Puglia.
You cannot.
But so when you land on the plane in Bari, you just see literally just miles and miles of the olive groves. And it's pretty cool to see, and not the topography that you would expect in Italy. So they make the olive oil there for most of Italy, and it is so GD good that you need to get it. Villa Capelli, use the discount code Vinnie, VINNIE. You'll get 10% off your order each and every time. They still have the 750 milliliter bottles in there. Hopefully they'll have some 3-liter tins in soon by the time this podcast comes out. I know we're banking, so maybe they will have it, but go to villacapelli.com. Trust us, it's delicious. You will tell the difference.
Yeah. So go get that. You will enjoy it. So last night, I finished work about 9-10 o'clock. And I clicked on my television, the one that's in this office. And I said, let me just watch something. And I saw this thing on the Amazon. And it was a documentary about the famous bodybuilder, Dorian Yates.
Okay, I'm going to let this be a pass for you because you watched something about bodybuilding. But the next time you start this, you better watch Yellowstone. I'm just telling you.
Yellowstone, please leave me alone with the Yellowstone. Please.
Never. I will never stop. Okay, Dorian Yates.
Get off my land.
Grandson. Grandson. Bodybuilding's not for cowboys.
Take you out to the woodshed. And I got some boys out there that's going to teach you a lesson or two. We're going to brand you. They brand people on that show. I've seen them brand people.
Yeah, they brand people.
Okay.
Anyway, you know who doesn't brand people? Bodybuilder Daryl Yates.
Dorian Yates.
Dorian Yates. That's what I said.
So Dorian Yates, for anyone the uninitiated, he was the first what they called mass monster in bodybuilding. Back in the 70s, in the heyday, in the golden era of bodybuilding, when the Arnold Schwarzeneggers and the all of those guys, Frank Zane, just all of those guys, Robbie Robinson, all of the famous guys. It was all about, they had big giant muscles, but it was all about symmetry. And probably the biggest guy back in that era was Big Lou Ferrigno. So if you want to talk, he was bigger than everybody else, and he never had the symmetry that the other guys had. He never got ripped like the other guys, but he was well known for all of, he was massive. Well, then along in the early 90s, this guy out of England, out of Wales, actually, Dorian Yates comes around. And he is just massive, and he's ripped. I mean, ripped and massive. He was something to behold. And, all of this is going on. And one thing leads to another. And what we find out is that he's going to become the next big thing, even though he's a mass monster, right? I've never been a big fan of Dorian Yates because
I'm going to Google him and see what it looks like.
Whenever I've seen him win a show, he was kind of like Drago. He would never have expression. These guys win the shows, the tears start rolling and the whole thing when you win Mr. Olympia. And this guy,
you're the same age as him.
Oh yeah, we're the same age. He never had expression on his face or anything. So I didn't love him or hate him or but there was always rumors around him as to how he worked out. And those rumors, he talked about it in his documentary, and he also talked about how he became who he was. And, his dad died when he was young, and his mom died when he was young, and he was kind of on his own and trying to make it through life, and he became this bodybuilder. And here's the thing. Now, as we all know, the professional bodybuilders, they all take drugs. Let's put that on the back burner. Because one of the things about Dorian, I worked out at Gold's Gym for a lot of years. I watched people like Frank Zane in there. I watched people like Mike Menster. I watched people like Arnold. I watched all the greats in there work out, even as their careers were waning and everything. These guys were still, and all the new guys coming up, they would be working out in Gold's, and they were doing this protocol where, I'm not kidding, folks, when you take a lot of steroids, you can do this. They would work out when it got close to competition time. They would do a 2-hour session in the morning, sleep all day long, and come back and do another hour in the afternoon. They would do split day routines, not every other day or this or that. And they were doing this 6-7 days a week. These people, I mean, with all the drugs and everything, they were working out like crazy. And you always heard that Dorian Yates only worked out 4 days a week, and he was never in the gym for more than 45 minutes. But during that 45 minutes, he would make it count. And this is the part I want, because people always say, I don't have a lot of time. And they always ask me, how long are you in the gym? I have a gym here in my office. I also go out to a gym. I'm never in there longer than an hour. And usually most of that is because I warm up for 15 minutes on the either the treadmill or the stair machine. I like to get a little juice flowing. I'm getting older. I'm not trying to do anything special. And I'll do some sit-ups once or twice a week. But if I just walked in there and pumped on, I'd be out in about 35, 40 minutes, right? Don Coddington, who keeps a pretty good amount of muscle on his body. Sorry.
The billionaire Don Coddington's Friday, 5 o'clock. Have a good weekend.
Anyway, he's
so rich. He's so rich.
He's rich. He's got so much money. And so anyway, Don works out, twice a week. And he has
time because he's so rich.
Yeah, he does. He could do stuff that we can't do, but he doesn't want to waste all this time in the gym. He keeps a lot of muscle on his body, a fair amount. At 60 years old, he's my age. We were born a few days apart. He's a few days younger than me. And he does that by just, super slow, using the Arthur Jones method, the guy who created Nautilus. The same, you guys have heard people like Fred Hahn on this show, and Dr. Ben Bokikio, and all of these guys talk about this on the show. It's been proven over and over, you don't have to spend a ton of time in the gym. You could do one set to failure. Ben Bokikio will take you down in Florida and kick your ass and have you thinking about throwing up in about 28 minutes. Fred Hahn will do the same thing in between 20 and 30 minutes, depending on what you're doing. It's because they're coaching you through a super slow, very, very controlled, to where your muscles are quivering off your body. So it doesn't matter how you get that message to your brain and how you do it, it works. And this guy became the world's first mass monster. And he was never in a gym longer than 45 minutes. He was showing his actual workouts, and people like Cormier
in the documentary?
In the documentary, and people like Cormier and some of these other guys he was friends with, who were also big time professional bodybuilders, they were vouching for it. It's like, oh yeah, this guy never spent that kind of time. When he was in the gym, it was super intense. I mean, you would see him on that leg press machine, and there would be like 8 and 10 plates on each side of it. And this guy is like, it looks like blood is popping out from his pores. I mean, he was squeezing it out. And he always said, if you can walk out of a gym after leg day, you didn't do leg day. And we used to, back when I was doing heavy sets and everything, it was the same thing. We had to walk downstairs at the end of a workout at Tulane. And, you would watch, legs would be quivering. You would have to hang on to the thing. You look like you were going to fall, right? That's what it takes to get there, to build that kind of muscle. And this guy was doing it using the old Arthur Jones method. He even said that he took about half the amount of steroids that anyone else ever took, because he wasn't trying to take the most steroids. He was just trying to take enough to get the effect he needed.
Is it the power of lifting heavy?
Say again?
Is that the power of lifting heavy, that he didn't have to take the same amount of steroids as everybody else?
I think that, and the fact that he took them more strategically. Now, he also had trouble when he went off of them. He talks about all of that. None of these guys get away scot-free. Right. They all end up with problems. So basically, you're ruining the rest of your life by taking these things. Make no mistake.
Right.
But, you know, he was taking half of, or not even half of what he was taking them strategically, because he was using these really hard workouts to get what he needed, to get that signal from his brain that, hey, let's go grow some muscle. That's how it works. So I know I've had people like Vocino on the show, and Fred Hahn and all these guys that do it. I've always been a guy, I like to do a warm-up set. As a matter of fact, my workouts are exactly like, you know, Dorian Yates's workout, where I'll do a light warm-up set, just, you know, grease the skids, and then a medium set where I stop several reps early of killing myself. And then when I'll go out to the gym just so I can get someone to spot me on the third set. Because here I got to stop a rep or two early. I can't squeeze them out here, because it would mean it ends up on my chest, and then I have a heavy bar on my chest and I can't finish. So that's the way that works, right? And this is coming from the biggest mass monster. Now, look, I mean, I'm a big fan of Ronnie Coleman, who came after him, also known as the King. If you want to see a real mass monster, look at the Louisiana boy, Ronnie Coleman, the King, Anna. You know, Dorian had some incredible mass. That Ronnie took it to a new level.
Oh, wow.
And Ronnie can barely walk these days. You know, he's young. But Ronnie was another one of those mass men. Did it a lot different. He went really, really heavy. The guy used to squat a gazillion pounds. He can barely walk. His back is messed up. His hips are messed up. He uses a walker to walk nowadays. And I don't think Ronnie's even 55. How old is Ronnie?
He's 2 years younger than you.
So he's 58. So
I'm sorry. Wait, were you born in 62? Yeah. He's 64. Ronnie Coleman has 6.3 million Instagram followers.
Oh, he's
get after it, bro. That's awesome.
He's the king. He was a cop
king
down in Louisiana. That's what he did to support himself until he became a professional bodybuilder. Can you imagine you're fucking robbing a 7-Eleven and Ronnie Coleman shows up?
No, you stay out of Ronnie Coleman's way, is what I have learned in the 2 minutes that I now know who he is.
The nicest human being on the planet. There's a documentary about him. I saw it a few years ago. It's probably on the same network as the other one. And the bottom line is, even that he can't walk anymore, still a smile from ear to ear. Whenever you see him, he goes, "Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy." You know, he's that guy. You know, the best
That's great
of any human being ever. Now, here's the other sad side of it, of the whole bodybuilding thing. I saw another show, and it said natty bodybuilding. Natty means natural, meaning no steroids. I was going to watch that before the Dorian Yates thing. I was into wanting to watch something like that because I guess I'd found those and they were all lined up. Here's the deal. I went and looked at it. I went, let me watch the natty thing and see what these guys are doing to stay natural and to, build bulk. Maybe the old man can learn something, right? I watched the preview. There's this guy, Mike O'Hearn. I used to model with Mike O'Hearn. We had the same agent back in the day. And this guy's been lying about taking steroids. The fact that he's close to my age, he's still taking a shit ton of steroids, and he's always lied about it. Now there's a whole documentary, so I'm guessing he's lying in the documentary about there's nothing natural about Mike O'Hearn. It sounds like I'm saying Michael Hearn. I'm saying Mike
O'Hearn. Got it.
Right. And back when we used to model together, he was a fit model too. He wasn't that bulked up, right? He talks about, I've always been bulky like this. It's just part of my, no. And back in 1990, he didn't look like that. He did not look like that, folks, not even close. And I was telling that to the guy who I won't mention his name again because I'll have to play that stupid thing. But I was telling that guy, I was like, yeah, I can show you. And I went back and found photos. He goes, oh my God, I've never seen these kind of photos of Mike O'Hearn. And I was like, yeah, the guy's been lying for years. So folks, you have to watch all your Instagram stars and all these people because they're always bullshitting you and lying to you. Right?
I mean, isn't that the way of the internets?
Yeah, it is. And that's why I'm always trying to bring some sensible reality to
some common sense to the Instagram.
I do what I can, Anna. I do what I can.
I know.
So
you do.
Yeah. There you have it. But what else we got, Anna?
That's a very good question. Did you hear about the vibrating pill to help prevent constipation?
I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
I know. Well, it could be, maybe it's for that too, depending on how activated your prostate, whatever that is, that the gland.
Wait, there's a vibrating pill.
The vibrating pill.
And what is it?
To literally shake the crap out of you. By the way, this is another Schmaps special. Schmaps always finds me the best, articles. Hold on, let me go.
All you need is a little extra magnesium in your life and boom.
Or a pill, which I would imagine, it's called, it's literally called Vibrant.
Stop it. Is that a real thing?
Yes. Drug-free relief from chronic constipation may come from a new vibrating pill, which, by the way, some magnesium in a squatty potty would go a long way to just moving it out.
I can't believe you're bringing up squatty potty. I was thinking today.
I love squatty potty.
While I was on the toilet.
I still use my squatty potty.
I was like, wow, these people were sponsors like what, 10 years ago?
Yeah.
I still use their product.
Still use it.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact,
can I tell you, my mother-in-law was having issues and having to self-catheterize and do that with her bladder. Mm-hmm. And I've talked about it on the air, so it's not like some secret. But like I said, let me send you a squatty potty. It's gonna help you. In fact, isn't that why Robert invented it for his mom? Because she was having bladder issues. Yeah, it wasn't even, and then they found out that it makes pooping better too. So she was having bladder issues. And my mother-in-law was like, I can't fit another thing in this house, because they downsized. They moved to a tiny little house in Florida. And I was like, no, you can't afford not to have this squatty potty.
Yeah.
And it caused a rift for a minute. Like, I was like, I'm offended when people are like squatty potty. I'm like, you have no idea.
Yeah.
So some magnesium in a squatty potty, some Pure Vitamin Club magnesium and a squatty potty will go a long way. But here, I'm going to just tell you about Vibrant. If you choose to just ignore, if you've been listening this long and you want to ignore everything we say and you want to get Vibrant, I'll tell you about it. People who struggle with chronic constipation have a new drug-free option to help get things moving again. It's a first of its kind capsule about the size of a regular pill, but instead of releasing medication after it's swallowed, it vibrates to stimulate the colon. The capsules, called Vibrant, was cleared. That's a grammatical error, CNN.com. By the U.S. Food and Drug Administration in August, but just became available for doctors to prescribe this week. Doctors consider a person to be constipated when they're having fewer than 3 bowel movements in a week. That sounds like a fresh hell. Between 10 to 20% of Americans live with persistent constipation that doesn't have a discernible cause. They tend to have hard, dry stools that may cause pain and bloat. I mean, this is heartbreaking to hear this. The idea behind the treatment is that a single Vibrant pill is taken around bedtime every day. See, I thought it would be a suppository. It then travels the same route as food does through the stomach and small intestines, finally reaching the large intestine about 14 hours later. Then it goes to work. The pills stimulate specialized nerve cells in the gut called mechanosensory cells. These help trigger peristalsis, the undulating muscle contractions that help squeeze food through the gut. I mean, I guess if you have a gut motility issue, that might be the physical way, might be the only way. I don't know. I don't know.
I think,
or maybe just stick a finger in your butt and shake it. I don't know. What else could we do? Butt plug? A vibe dildo?
Hang on, we can do that. Stick a finger in our butt and shake it.
If you can stick the pill in your butt, why can't you stick a finger in your butt?
If I still have that kind of flexibility, I don't have a problem yet.
You can stick your finger in your own butt. You're that flexible. Do it on your non-shoulder. Your other, you have to do it with,
Actually,
you have to do it with your left hand.
All right,
your
ready?
non-dominant arm. Yeah. Okay. Ready?
You
Reach
see
it
my
around.
finger on my
Give yourself the rusty trombone from the behind. Just jam it in there. See, you can do it.
I can reach. I can reach.
Yeah, you can reach your own butthole. If you can wipe your ass, you can get a finger in there, and then you don't have to ask your doctor for Vibrant. I'm not a doctor, but
look,
maybe wear a glove. Maybe wear a glove. So
I'm
you
not
don't
picking
like
up. I'm not
tear
picking
the.
up what they're putting down. I'm just not. I mean,
All right.
look, people.
I'm just telling you.
When you have constipation, you need to address the problem, and addressing the problem doesn't mean that you need to take a shit ton of non-soluble fiber like psyllium. Addressing the problem is look at your diet, take a look inside, take a big old swim in Lake U, and figure out what the fuck you're doing, and figure that out first. And then once you figure that out, you should also look at magnesium as something you take daily, because no one gets enough magnesium, folks. I'm telling you. So many people have corrected problems they thought they had and got off of more medications for more stuff. If you got to stick a vibrating pill up your ass, you might want to reconsider some of the other stuff you're doing. I'm just saying.
I've only been constipated once in recent memory, and it was awful. It was awful.
Well,
so I would imagine.
Did you take like a fleet enema or something? What did you do?
Oh no, it only lasted like. It only lasted like it was like I took a shit an hour later than I usually take a shit, and I was like, oh my god, I'm constipated. This is awful. Like I'm so regular that I can't.
So that got you.
Yeah, maybe like getting off of a long haul flight because your circadian rhythms are messed up. That's But I've never dealt, like my sister-in-law has dealt with chronic constipation. She also has diverticulosis or diverticulitis. She has all this stuff wrong with her gut, motility issues, gut microbiome. It's a lot. She deals with a lot. So there are folks out there I know who are struggling with this, but I'm also like, can you just try the magnesium and see?
Well, everybody wants an instant thing. The magnesium might take a few days. Everybody wants everything right now, man.
She'll be like, oh, I haven't pooped in 7 days. I'm like, what? Oh, I know.
I have a
friend. You know what? It's time for us to have on a poop expert and gut microbiome expert. I'm going to look into that. See who we can have on.
I have a friend who's been on seizure medication his whole life. Of course, he'll never listen to me and try to, eat ketogenic diet, but he's been on these hard drugs. I remember he would go, oh yeah, I easily go 7, if not 10, 12 days.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh my God, to be holding on to all of that fecal matter, because these, phenobarbital and all this stuff just slows you. And this guy had massive seizures. So, and it's like, man, look, when I think of people like Jennifer really and all these people, seizure salad and all these people that fix themselves, I was like, man, come on. I've seen this. I've seen people fix themselves. Jim Abrams is a friend. Just go. No, you think you know more than a doctor? No, I don't know more than a doctor. I've had these issues my whole life. You think you make them go away? I'm just asking you to try something that it's no skin off of your back. You're having grand mal seizures every day of your life. You want to be a victim, or you want to maybe try something that you okay.
Because unfortunately, the assumed tacit understanding that we have as a society with doctors, or at least how I was raised, that if there's any legitimate therapeutic response to any medical condition, the doctor should know about it because that's their job. They're a doctor.
And
so you know what I'm saying? So that's why people are like, how would you? But now there's hopefully we've been part of this dialogue over the past 11 years to help get the word out there that just ask questions. Talk to another doctor. Talk to it. Like, look into something. Listen, I'm jumping in cold pools. What?
Yeah. When I met,
because I want to find another answer. I don't want to live with autoimmune destroying my gut.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to try something else. Do I have proof? I don't know. We'll have to figure out a way that you test that, because I would love to figure out what biomarkers
you jump in a cold pool for a while if it fixes your problem. I went, people won't remember all my stories, but I'll tell this one. I went to a doctor, for during beginning of COVID, right at the beginning, around the lockdowns, maybe a month before that, I was in the gym and all of a sudden something just snapped in my neck.
I remember that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I was in,
You were in a lot of pain.
Excruciating pain for about a year and a half. And, I kept waiting for it to go away or get better. And I started working out again, but it just never got better. And sometimes it would feel a little better. I'd take Advil and feel a little better. So, and then I started to almost pass out. Sometimes like I would walk and sometimes get dizzy. And it's like, oh, it's got to be to do whatever I pinched in there. So I'll go and I get MRIs done and I get x-rays done and the whole thing. And I'm sitting in front of this doctor and he's like, yeah, you have 2 of your vertebrae in your neck. You're just bone on bone, again, football and what have you. And I went, well, what can we do? He goes, surgery. That's all you could do. And I'm close, you're dealing with vertebrae. That's close to my fucking spinal cord. I don't know how willing I. He goes, well,
what did they want to do? They wanted to put some sort of thing in there to space them.
Put these cushions in there and open up and
the cushions. Yeah.
Put new vertebrae, fake vertebrae, and they would move around the whole thing. And I was like, God, I don't know if I'm ready for that. It's like,
yeah,
I'm in a lot of pain. But he goes, well, in the meantime, while you're thinking about it, we'll send you to a pain specialist. And I said, but yeah,
somebody who prescribes you the opioids.
I said, I'm not going to take drugs,
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, they could do other stuff. And I went, really? He goes, oh, this is the guy. This is Italian guy. He goes, oh, this is the guy. He's over at UVA. Go to this guy. So I get an appointment. The guy couldn't even see me for 3 weeks. That's how busy he is. I finally get an appointment. I go in. Nice guy comes in, and he already had my chart and everything. He goes, okay, we could put you on blah 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 opioid, blah 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 blah, this, that, and the whole. And I went, whoa. No, I didn't come here for drugs. Oh, well, we can try to manipulate it a little bit. I mean, like chiropractic stuff. Not really. We'll just massage it out, and we can hit some pressure points and the whole thing.
Well, I could get a massage.
You can see that when I told him I didn't want drugs, the wind went out of his sails. He was now flailing, and he goes, "Yeah, we could do some manipulation." And I said, "Okay, let's do some manipulation." And he was like, "Oh, you got to make another appointment for that." I said, "But I'm here now. This is my." He goes,
"Well, he probably doesn't do that. He probably has a physical therapist do that."
Oh, he did. He was going to do it. He knows how to do all this cranial stuff. And I said, well, this is my appointment. Why can't we do it now? Because he thought he was going to write a script for drugs and send me out of the door.
Right.
And I said, I'm not doing that. And then he had to flail around and go, well, I can play. So I'll make another appointment. I'm now excited. It's a few days later. I go back.
I'm going to get manipulated.
The guy does a few things. It was like, I knew I was being played. I was like, he must still be warming up. And this is after like 15 minutes.
He must still be warming up.
Yeah, it's like he's still like Mr. Miyagi.
Should have just gone to a chiropractor. At least you feel like something happened.
Yeah, but I was scared to have.
At least they give you the popping thing.
He's like pressing and touching and doing all this stuff, and I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And then he goes, all right, I don't want to do too much today. That's enough. You drink a lot.
That's it. You're going to be really sore.
Yeah, you're going to be sore. I'm like.
Again, back to the thing, like I have to feel like something happened.
I'm walking out of the office and there's the guy, he goes, hey, you need to come here. And I went, oh, okay. I thought I had a copay or something. He goes, we need to get an appointment for 3 days from now. I went, an appointment? I'm not coming back here. He goes, well, you didn't like what happened? I said, no, I'm done. I said, I went in there and got bamboozled. My insurance company is not paying for that. I'm not going to continue. You guys got one bamboozle out of me. That's it. I'm done. So now I walk out of there still in full pain.
And well, let me guess, when he touched your little perfume points, it didn't help? No,
it didn't. It didn't. My cut got hard, which was odd. Odd, very, very, very odd. But at any rate, I came home and I looked around. I looked at my gym and I went, you know what? They told me that I'm bone on bone. There's nothing. So I went over. You want me to show you the device I used, Anna? You want me to go over and get it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Go and get it.
Old timey thing here. Anna, let me go get it.
Okay. I love it. Go. He's walking over there. He's going to go get the device. I can't wait to hear about it. Here he's coming back. Putting the headphones in. He's going to show us the device.
Okay.
Does it look like a butt plug? Could it also work for constipation?
You're on to the butt plug, but no.
I am.
You probably saw something like this in Dungeons and Dragons. So you put this.
I remember that thing.
Yeah.
So is it? It's like a traction, right?
No, yeah. You put this in your head. We used to use this. You know, when I played football, we had the big machines that you put on your head and it weights on it, and we would work out neck, front, and side, and the whole thing. So I started working. The back, just the back. Just the back. Just forward and back. I put a 2.5 pound plate on here. And then,
so you put that device on your head and then you hang a plate from it.
I hung some weight on the chains here.
Okay. And where did you find this device?
I've had, I got a lot of stuff.
Oh, you have it, but would it be like on Amazon if somebody else?
You go. This was made by the Sheet Company, SCHF.
So is the weight in front or the weight behind you?
No, the weight, you put the device on your head. Mm-hmm. Weight is hanging down,
hanging in front,
and then I would just do that with my neck, just getting some blood flow. And by the way, it was super light, but I was working through the pain. And then for the front, I would put my hands like this. So describe what I'm going to do, because I'm going to do it, Anna.
He's put his fingers laced, or not one on top of the other, underneath his chin. And it looks like are you pressing against your hands?
I'm pressing down against my hands, and then I'm
and then lifting your chin and lowering your chin.
Yeah, just opening up. And so I started working the front of my neck. And I did that.
That's actually a really good idea. I wonder if that would be good for lifting your.
I mean, look, my neck is pretty strong, Anna.
Yeah, you do have a strong neck. I do.
But my neck wasn't that strong for a long time because it was getting weaker and weaker. And so I did that, both of those, about every third day for about a month or so. Mm-hmm. And man, my neck started feeling a little better.
Isn't that crazy?
And by the way, I started buying, I threw money at this problem. I started buying pillows. I bought like a Tempur-Pedic pillow. I was trying
to find the right pillow.
So I remember I had a client way back when that had a buckwheat pillow. Mm. And you could take some of the buckwheat out, or you can add buckwheat, So I got that buckwheat.
That's what you do with your spare grains, people. You can make a quinoa pillow.
You can make it out of rice. You can make whatever you want.
Rice pillow.
So I took that buckwheat pillow, and a rice pillow would be so heavy. Buckwheat is light. And I finally got the right amount, because I just sleep on my back anyway. And I would position it every night. It's like sand. When
of course you do. You lay there like a goddamn corpse, don't you?
I do.
It's amazing.
It's like I'm dead. And so here's the deal. When you go to the beach and you get on the sand, and the sand is all, but after you work yourself in, you get that perfect position.
Yeah, you get the imprint that's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Every night I get that pillow, and it takes me about 10, 15 seconds to work it and get it right where I want it. I put my head there, and when I wake up in the morning, I'm in that same position. No pain at all. I figured out the no pain thing. Right. So the pillow, the neck thing, but then I went, wait a minute. I want to start doing the sides too, like we used to do in football, right? Mm-hmm. So you see those rubber bands hanging off the end right over there?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I started connecting those rubber bands to the side of that harness, that same
and
harness.
You just pull.
And then I walk away from it to where there's some tension, light rubber band, pull, and let it go back. Pull.
That's awesome.
That. Anna?
Yeah.
Virtually no pain now. Every now and again, I'll tweak it somehow on a bicycle, or
of course. It's never, and it's, or you just look, I just looked, and then it went,
Something will happen every now and again where I'll mess it up, but I'm only in pain for one day.
So have you been keeping up with these exercises?
Absolutely.
I know. Or do you still do it every 3 days, or are you like every week, or
No. I do it. I do it every third day. Doesn't matter which workout I'm on. I just do it right here in my gym.
Interesting.
And I'm up to like 20 pounds. You know how I started off with 2.5? I'm now doing 20 pounds. 20.
That's amazing.
And, you know, I can put a lot of pressure here. I'm using heavier rubber bands on the side now. You know, I'm not trying to muscle it up, but whatever I could do comfortably and just keep it moving. And by the way, I start with a 10-pound plate every time. First set, warm up. Second set, I go to 15. Third set, I go to 20. You know?
So remember when I was having that hip problem? It's not like I don't have the hip problem anymore, but the solution for my hip problem is a surgery, the bone on bone thing.
Sure.
And I was like, again, like you, it was what, 6 or 8 months ago. I've been taking matters into my own hands and not realizing that having very strong quads was making my glutes a little, like, everything was overcompensating. And then the hip thing is going to be, I've always had this thing where I could pop my hip, you know?
Right.
And basically I went down a YouTube rabbit hole, and there's some pretty great physical therapists on YouTube giving you exercises and also describing, like, you can find exactly the right pain you're having and then try some exercises and some stretches. And it's not totally gone away, because it will never go away. Like you said, but bone on bone is bone on bone, right? But I don't have to have a hip replacement right this second, or hopefully anytime soon. And just from like being like, oh, I need to strengthen other parts of my body to keep this, whatever is happening, this functional issue with my hip from exacerbating.
Yeah.
And I love that you did that with the neck, and it makes me want to do neck exercises. We have to wrap it up because I've got to.
Oh, wow.
Jump on another one.
Yeah, I told you it would be a short show, and here we are.
Well, we can talk, you and me.
Anna?
We know how to do that.
You reminded me of 2 songs today, and I can't remember why I was reminded of these 2 songs.
Oh, good.
But we're going to play both of them. Folks, go check out everything Anna Vocino is doing. I talked about it in the intro of the show, but it's worth saying again. Go get the sauces. Go to Eat Happy Kitchen and see what she's got over there. And go get the books. Just go get everything Anna has. And if you want some freebies from Anna and you don't want to be nickel and dime from her, go to annavocino.com. There's free recipes.
Nickel and dime you.
If you want to get nickel and dime by me, I have the NSNG ebook over at VinnieTortorich.com. Also, before you go to Amazon, go to VinnieTortorich.com, click through the banner. Did I mention that this month, we still have the NSNG foods.com. You get 20% off by putting in promo code Vinnie. Even if you have a subscription, it's a one-time deal.
Are you talking about the month of March?
Month of March. Are we doing
Pretty sure this is going to air in April, but
okay.
If it's in March, great. And if it's in April and you missed it, you're listen up better so that you can get the discount.
So this show might be in April, because Anna and I are way ahead right now, because I have to go to California and she has to go to Italy. But
go to Italy.
She's going to Italy with the ides. So, folks, you probably have never heard these songs before, but you're going to hear them today. On behalf of Anna Vocino, my name is Vinnie Tortorich. Oh, wait, hang on.
Turn off your love light, man.